When I see the power of Christ to save men and women out of utter darkness and death, and to see the radical transformation that he makes in a life, I see that conversion is not just some cerebral mental thing of agreeing to a certain creed or set of statements, but it is an inside-out work of Christ that's made to last. And the only explanation that I've seen for persecutors becoming the persecuted because they're identifying with the church, they become Christians, is because Jesus is alive and he's saving people out of amazing situations. And when I see the suffering that Christians are experiencing, why would they go through so much trouble if something hadn't changed in their lives? I think of a man in Bangladesh. His name is Jaru, and this brother, 30 years of age, became a Christian in his mid-20s, and when that happened, he was kicked out of the family. His family held his funeral because he was dead to them. He was kicked out of his village, and in that communal context, his prospects for a job, his prospects for getting married were all over. And it hurt deeply to be so thoroughly rejected by his family and his friends and everything he had known. And I asked him, why? Humanly speaking, why would you go through this much trouble? And his answer was just clear. He said, there was no one else who could take away the weight of my sin but Jesus. And so he was willing, and with joy, although with heaviness and hurt and all of that, but still with joy in the suffering, stand with Jesus, speak of Jesus, and so that was just he was a living, breathing reminder that Jesus is alive. He's at work. He's bringing men and women to himself. So I see the power of his rising in conversions, and I see the power of his resurrection in the risk-taking that his people are assuming as they're now going out into those settings and speaking of him. They're willing to do that because it's hard to really threaten a person who will now live forever. And so their risk-taking is rooted in Christ's resurrection and theirs in him.